Oh, I saw that on our air too.
We're supposed to do nuts and bolts, but the nuts and bolts are the choppers. So the neighbors should. They just kept. As soon as we set up to do our live shot, man, they just kept coming through the parking lot, just to drive through.
Dude, I'm a big fan of taking care. What happens in your home? I don't need to see your cat walking down my driveway and behind my house.
Yeah, I mean, that's the old school idea, the indoor cat and the outdoor cat. But these are like feral cats.
That's because people are looking to Bob Barker about getting their animals spayed and neutered.
Generations ago, that was Fluffy and Mr. Mittens who supposed to live in the trailer.
Right.
Yeah. So it's very controversial. People get more emotional about it. I guess they found 3 kids in one of those trailers.
Right, yeah, right.
One person right. We had 6.
Who could be so heartless? Yeah.
Only live once. I don't think we did look at it. So the time it took me to get out there with my camera, get her in front of the camera is 6 feet. But that was, I suspect it was his wife or the part. So like, oh yeah, I know where that is. I think I know that. Don't eat here, eat there.
Good morning, everybody. Today is an exciting day here at the City of Cleveland. Before we begin our swearing-in ceremony, I want to just make a few comments about the transition we're talking about here today. Last week, as you know, Karrie Howard resigned from his position as Chief Director of Public Safety. Karrie and I spoke frequently about the future of the department, and we often had frank conversations about the leadership that was needed for the department to be successful moving forward. Specifically, to reach our ambitious goals, public safety must be focused on delivering for residents and free from distraction. And there must be a high degree of confidence at every level to ensure collaboration. Karrie felt that now was the right time to make a change in leadership and made the difficult and hard decision to resign. I want to thank Karrie for her service and dedication to the city of Cleveland over the past 4 years. He certainly served our city well. And as you know, public safety is my first priority, my second priority, and third priority as mayor of this great city. And I couldn't be more excited about the leadership of Chief Drummond and Chief Todd. You know, when I first met Chief Drummond, we had a conversation about the kind of division we wanted when I was then mayor-elect. And he reluctantly accepted being interim chief of police. And over the course of our tenure, I really recognize that this man has one of the biggest, greatest hearts of public service I've ever seen. And the most important day that we've had together wasn't when he was sworn in as the permanent chief at that time, but it was him being in action with me as mayor-elect when we handled the murder of Officer Shane Bartek. It was in that moment I recognized that this man was a special leader and the leader that we needed at that time. And I'm excited that Chief Drummond has accepted the role of interim director of public safety to allow us to really take our time to take stock on what's working, what's not working, and how do we continue to build a public safety department that reflects the 21st century. Secondly, I'm also excited about the promotion of Annie Todd as the second female to serve as chief of police in the city of Cleveland. She is a progressive, dynamic leader. She always tells me like it is as mayor, and I believe she's going to set our division up to be one of the smartest, toughest, most future-oriented police departments across the country. So without further ado, I'm going to spend a few moments swearing in the new leaders of our public safety divisions and the police department. We'll start with Mr. Drummond. Please raise your right hand, sir. I, Dorothy A. Drummond,
I, Dorothy A. Drummond,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the codified ordinances,
the codified ordinances,
and the Charter of the City of Cleveland,
and the Charter of the City of Cleveland,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duty
of interim director,
of interim director,
Department of Public Safety,
Department of Public Safety,
to the City of Cleveland,
to the City of Cleveland,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
during my continuance
during my continuance
in said
in
office.
said office.
Congratulations,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Dorothy, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Dorothy A. Todd,
I, Dorothy A. Todd,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the codified ordinances,
the codified ordinances,
and the Charter of the City of Cleveland,
and the Charter of the City of Cleveland,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of Chief of Police,
of Chief of Police,
Division of Police,
Division of Police,
Department of Public Safety,
Department of Public Safety,
to the City of Cleveland,
to the City of Cleveland,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
during my continuance in said office.
during my continuance in said office.
Congratulations, Chief. Before I have Interim Director Drummond and Chief Todd make comments, I want to just thank our command staff, the leaders of our various divisions inside of public safety for your continued leadership. We made a lot of progress. We recognize we have a lot more work to do. But I think we all owe a debt of gratitude to the family members that are here today. We recognize that this is not an easy job. A lot of long nights, a lot of late hours, but know that we are thankful for your sacrifice too, because these two leaders are going to need you now more than ever as they do the people's work, making Cleveland one of the safest big cities in America. So thank you to the family being here today. Let's give them a round of applause if we can.
Thanks, Mayor. Really appreciate it, and just thank everyone here. These things are difficult for me. I don't like being in the limelight. I prefer to be in the shadows, to be honest with you. So these are really difficult for me. I'm really humbled by the mayor asking me to take on this task. It's going to be a challenge, but I accept this challenge. I appreciate the confidence and faith that he has in me for this particular role. But it's important for me this is really important. I want to thank God. Being a police officer for 35 years was one of the main things in my life. It didn't define who I was or am. It's just a part of me. What I am, and this is really important, what I am is I'm a Christian, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, I'm a brother. I'm all those things, and being a police officer is just part of that. So I want to thank God for that. And I want to thank my wife and my kids and my grandkids and my mother for their ultimate support during this journey for me to be in this particular position. And before that, when I was the chief of police, also the deputy chief of police, commander of police, and so forth, and they were there faithfully supporting me. And like the mayor just said, it's a huge, huge sacrifice. And I couldn't be here without first and foremost God, and then them for the support that they gave me in order for me to do the things I can, support this city that I love. Absolutely love this city. I want the best for the city. And I'm going to do everything within my power, my authority, to make sure that the Division of Police under new leadership, I was going to say Commander Todd, Chief Todd and her staff, who's over here to my left, who I worked with for the last 35 years for some, very dedicated individuals, committed to making this city safe. I appreciate the time that I worked with them. I appreciate the support that they gave me. And I'm going to do everything I can within my power and authority to make sure they have the resources and equipment and technology necessary to do their job and provide the best possible service for our citizens and our visitors that come to this beautiful and wonderful city. Again, I'm very, very, just really humbled for this particular opportunity. And again, I want to thank the mayor for his faith and confidence in me. So thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
So first of all, Mr. Mayor, thank you. I'm honored that you have given me this privilege to lead the men and women of the Cleveland Division of Police. I thank all of our officers and command staff for the support, and I truly look forward to this role and hope that I can bring your confidence in me as a leader so that we can make great changes and make sure that the city continues to be safe for all the men and women who live here. Chief Director Drummond, thank you for your guidance along the years. And I appreciate the opportunities you've given me that have made me become where I am today. My family is here with me today. My husband has always been my biggest cheerleader. Every role that I've taken throughout the city, he has never hesitated to say, go for it. And then my beautiful daughter, who is my conscience and tells me all the bad about every role that I'm gonna take. So. I started my journey with the Division of Police in the late 90s as a traffic controller, And I was a single mom at the time, and my daughter was around 6 years old at that time. So she has seen me through my entire career, and she has been a part of this journey for me. And, I have to say that, this one's for you. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. We have time for just a couple questions. Yeah. More.
You previously wanted a national search to fill a previous role as chief. You didn't go that route then, and you didn't go that route now. Why go internal and why choose Chief Todd?
Well, I think Chief Todd is one of the best police leaders, not just in Ohio, but across the country. And we have a deep bench inside the Division of Police in terms of our command staff, our lieutenants and captains and commanders. And so I always knew that Chief Todd would be someone who would one day take the rank of chief, and that timeline just got accelerated.
Mayor, we had a question about city cars. Certainly the previous safety director was involved in that. Who's been watching to make sure that all city employees are following the rules for city cars and that they even have car insurance?
Yeah, thank you, Ed, for the question. Under my direction, my head of HR, Matt Cole, and my law director, Mark Griffin, we had a briefing with our cabinet on this on Tuesday, and they are doing a thorough, comprehensive review to make sure every employee is compliant, and we'll hold them accountable if they're not. Next
Matt,
question.
the question, who's been watching? Who's been watching before now?
Next question.
No, who's been watching?
Matt?
Yeah,
Matt?
what do you see as some of the biggest challenges heading into these new roles? And I'd be curious if they also want to comment.
Yeah, Chief Todd.
So for those who don't know me, just a little bit about my career. I've worked in 4 of the 5 police districts. Prior to becoming the Deputy Chief of Staff, I was the commander of the 3rd District. And I had the opportunity to see the 3rd District and, the downtown area through a lot of difficult times, including, several protests, but also a lot of major events. So this is a new role, it's a new opportunity, but we see this continue. There's been a good path that's been set in place that we're going to build off of, and we're going to continue with that work to bring a safer Cleveland.
What priorities do you have in this new role?
So I have a few. Of course, violent crime. That's our number one. That's the number one thing for the citizens. Another thing that we have been working on is juvenile crimes. We also have to make sure as a city that we start to have a better partnership with the CPC, which is newly developed, and make sure that we can get the DOJ and monitors to see that the progress we're making and that we've made throughout the years to help us become in complete compliance with the consent decree.
Director, you want to add?
I have to echo what Chief Todd just said. The priority for me is violence prevention. We have a new, hopefully starting soon in June, CJIC, which is the Crime Gun Intelligence Center. Will be starting here in Cleveland, again, hopefully June, where we can actually target those violent offenders and actually take crime guns. That's important because I don't want anyone to get it confused that we're just trying to take just guns off the street. We're talking about specifically crime guns, remove those guns from the street, because generally when you're removing crime guns, you're also removing those individuals who are prone to use those weapons. So that's my priority, to make sure that we tap down the violent crime in our community, and specifically gun crimes.
Any comments on just the ongoing discussion about the number of budgeted police officers? Chief Todd?
Well, I would just say this. We're hopefully going to be finalizing the budget here relatively soon. Every year since our administration is taking office, we've invested more inside the Division of Police. Our new incentives around recruitment and retention, I think, are going to show real dividends to the Division of Police. We're optimistic that we'll have a sizable, a large police class by the end of this first quarter to replenish the ranks. But we're already seeing dividends from our new 12-hour shift model, and we're going to continue to invest in growing our police force, but do it in a data-driven, thoughtful way to ensure structurally balanced budgets so that we can invest in every aspect of city government. Last question, Mark?
Yeah, the spring and summer is going to be here before we know it.
Yeah.
Is there sort of like preparation place, preparation place for how to handle the eventual strike and
Yeah.
key avoidance and car thefts?
I'll address it, and I'll have both Chief Todd and Director Drummond chime in on this. Look, since we announced our RISE initiative last July, we've been planning for this summer since last summer by doing a couple things. Number one, as Director Drummond mentioned, just yesterday we were in Cincinnati touring Cincinnati's Crime Gun Intelligence Center. That new center will be launched later this summer. That's going to prove dividends in terms of cutting down on the flow of illegal guns coming into our city. Secondly, I would say last July, we were on pace to reach nearly 200 homicides. Because of the aggressive tactics we deployed with the Ohio Highway Patrol, the U.S. Attorney, ATF, U.S. Marshals, and the County Sheriff's Department, we were able to slow the number of homicides. And we finished last year with lower homicides than we did in 2022. And since the pandemic, the height of the pandemic in 2020, we have seen a 14% reduction in homicides in our city. And already, year to date, we've seen a major decline in stolen vehicles and a major decline in homicides in just the first 2 months of this year. Both in homicides and carjackings. We can get that to you after this event. But I say all that to say, we're going to continue to do aggressive warrant sweeps across our city. We're going to continue to do aggressive violent crime reduction task forces. And we're going to be aggressive and not start in the summer, but we've already started since last year preparing for this upcoming summer. Anything you want to comment on that?
If I can real
Yep.
quick, and then, yeah, the mayor's absolutely right. We didn't plan for this spring and this summer now. Yeah, we started that whole process last year, working with the command staff about what we can do to tap down we know when it gets warm and so forth, the violence. And part of that is our planning and so forth, the various details with our partners that we put in place. The warrant sweeps, like the mayor just mentioned, it's absolutely plays dividends to remove violent offenders from our communities and so forth, and we'll continue to do that this year. We work with our partners, the FBI, the DEA, ATF, and so many others, Highway Patrol, the Sheriff Department, to target in a very laser-focused way areas or hotspots or microgrids, we call them, to again identify individuals who are committing havoc in our communities by pulling the trigger and so forth. We identify those individuals and we remove them from our communities, either through the county prosecutor, or if it's a federal charge, we go with the federal. Which particular agency we're going to get the most time for those individuals, that's who we work with. So again, our plan has been well in advance for this spring as well as this summer in various details. In fact, I was talking with Deputy Chief Pillow about some of the warrants that we've already executed. We've already arrested approximately 12 individuals for homicide already this year, executed multiple warrants, arrested multiple individuals for violent felonies and so forth, and that's going to continue to do that. Our homicide rates, as the mayor just said, is down significantly. This time last year, we're at approximately 30 homicides. We're at 13 right now. That's significant. And I'm not taking all the credit. The Division of Police, the men and women in the Division of Police are doing a tremendous job. We're not taking all the credit, but I have to say the warrant sweeps, the details, and all the things that the men and women of the Division of Police, as well as our federal partners, U.S. Marshals and so forth, all those combined, I think, is making a big difference in tapping down some of those crimes.
Chief Todd.
They covered a lot of it in what they said, but I will echo that we have been planning for the summer months. Everything is about getting ahead of the knowns. It's, there are always going to be unknowns out there, but the men and women are working hard. Our leaders in this department have plans in place, and they have been implementing, serious changes so we can do everything we can to combat the violent crimes that occur and work towards a safe summer.
Thank you. At this moment, we're going to have placement of the badge if somebody wants to get a photo of that.
Don't step in front of us.
Lower, please.
At this moment, we're going to conclude the ceremony. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. We appreciate it.